back and look at the story of each team over the course of the year, there's gonna be stretches. You do everything you can to make sure that they're not long stretches where you're struggling. I think, when you go back to the first game of the year, we went in St. Louis with Connor's our best player by far. It's a good hockey team, and listen, I spent my entire day, years trying to figure out my own hockey team, and wouldn't presume to understand anybody else's, but there's too many veteran players on those teams that just can't suffer through that. They find a way, and sometimes the negative stretch is long enough, and sometimes the pressure comes off them, because both those teams found themselves with a huge gap to the 8th seed. So you felt they were going to play. It's true of the LA Kings based on the game that they beat us. I believe they won 3 in a row, and they've got their game in order. So it's a Central Division story. I think they're just all good teams that are capable of winning, and they had a bit of a tough patch, but that won't be their year.
I guess that's why it's important that when you do have a loss or two, not to let them bleed into multi-games, and you guys have been very good at that, and not having any losing streak extend beyond a couple games.
We've been fairly consistent in that. I think we've been able to bounce back on after tough nights, or I think a number of our losses, and I might include last night in this. Well, there was just enough good in that game that you didn't feel it was one of those one-offs that you don't talk about. That is in everybody's year. They have one of those. They never look at the game tape again. But I'm thinking about the St. Louis game at home here, 1-0. We were good in that game, and I felt that way in Toronto as well, and not as much last night. I'd like to think that some of it had to do with the 4-day break for both teams. I mean, the